Yo, yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it.
Judo
Feels like a
kick.
magnet, lose won't happen, doomed in a casket.
I'm here to talk about stuff today. Are you with me? Are you without me? You're probably without me because I'm here and you're somewhere else. Anyway, I'm revved up. I'm ready to go. Let's talk about some stuff. Today, what I wanted to talk about was doing shit you don't want to do regardless of how you feel. Now, this is a big one because fitness is is pretty shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be honest. Working out, there's 1,000 fucking things you could do that's more fun. Drinking is pretty fun. Laying on the beach, very fun. Hanging out with friends and watching movies, very fun. Reading books, pretty enjoyable. Doing this, yeah. Also, probably more fun than fitness at times. But it's really good for us. And if you want to live longer and you want to have a pain-free life and a pretty good outlook on the world, probably a good idea to start exercising. Now, it's really important to make sure that regardless of how you feel, you get some stuff done. What does this look like for you as someone that is a newcomer to the gym or intermediate or advanced? Beginners. What does it look like to show up to the gym regardless of how you feel? Well, when you're a beginner, you should probably go to the gym regardless of how you feel because you're trying to build habits. Now, if you're injured, you should work around injury. You should try and go for a walk if your back's fucked or something like that. But it should look like a scaled down version of what you're already doing. There should be no excuse for you to not be able to get to the gym and do something. 20 minutes is better than no minutes. When you are starting to build the habit of attending exercise, that is the most crucial point, is just showing up. Because there's a little fifth gear, sixth gear in your brain that you don't know exists, but you have it. And you've got to tap into that. And if you don't know you have it, you're not going to use it. And so when you're a beginner, you probably feel like, fuck, flat, I can't be asked to do this, it's too much, an hour of training, it sucks. And the truth of the matter is, as soon as you show up, you're going to have a lot of energy to do the session. You're going to be really glad you did. And it's about it, right? What more do you want? Put in the work, happy about the work, great success. So if you're a beginner, habits are the most important thing and just showing up is super key. If you're intermediate, if you're someone that's been training for 2 to 3 years, let's say 1 to 2 years. If you've been training for 1 to 2 years, it's really important to understand where a day off is going to take you. Is it just going to be a day off? Is it going to be a week off? Is it going to be 2 weeks off? Now, unfortunately, this is very much like a trial and error thing. You're more or less going to be like, take a week off, you might take a day off and then it turns into a week off and you go, fuck, I shouldn't have taken that day off. And you're going to understand where you lie in the scheme of things, like where you're actually just bullshitting yourself and you wanted to take a break and you're not being honest, or you're not being honest about your commitment or how well of a habit you've developed. So it's really important when you're in intermediate is being gentle with yourself and understanding that sometimes if you take a day off and it leads to a week off or 2 weeks off, that you've got to get back in and you've got to understand where your head was at when you do take that day off and what's causing you to then take the week or 2 weeks off training for you to get back in, because that's not ideal. Now, that's where you should be at if you're an intermediate trainer. So beginner, it's all about habits and showing up and setting in that routine for yourself that you show up to the gym irrespective of how you feel. Because if you take a week off when you're training and you're a beginner, it'll probably lead to a month off, 3 months off, the year off. If you're intermediate, it might look like a week or 2 off, or maybe a month off, and that's not really good for your progress or your headspace. Now, when we talk to advanced people should have a really good developed understanding, really well-developed understanding of what a day off will do for them. Now, for me, I've been training for 14 years, various sports, always weightlifting. For me, a day off is usually just a day off. I get back into it the next day, and I'll start the program exactly where I left off. Let's say it's a 5-day program. For example, Tuesday. I missed Tuesday because I was feeling it or wasn't feeling it. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm staying home and watching TV. I did that, felt great, worked. I trained yesterday. So unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm still gonna do all my exercise sessions. It just means I've got to train on Saturday, which I don't really like doing, but it was better than training that Tuesday because that I was just feeling spent for the day. So as long as you keep it in the week, if you're an advanced trainer, I think that's the best thing. Because if you keep it in the week and you fulfill all your sessions, good time, but it'll eat into some of your personal, like your weekend time, if you're okay with it. And I think that's a pretty good catch. Like you can get the day off, but you've still got to do all your sessions regardless. So when you feel a bit better, and it's sort of like no matter what, you'll get the sessions done then. I think that's a better way of approaching it if you are an advanced person, because you've done the work, you've shown yourself you can show up, and you've earned that day off, but then you owe it to yourself to fulfill your program for the week and keep going. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of get confused, is if you're advanced, you've earned it. Beginner and intermediate, you haven't really earned it. Let's face facts. Or you haven't really earned it through consistency, hard work, and results. I believe anyway. But when you're advanced, yeah, you've shown yourself that you can stop for a day or a week and come back and keep making progress and keep growing. So those are my three sort of mindset tips and tricks for people that are into beginner, intermediate, or advanced. What happens when you take a day off? What happens when you feel like shit? And what should you do? If you're a beginner, like I said, train no matter how you feel, but just show up and run through the motions. You can do a really half-ass attempt, okay? If you're an intermediate, you've got to do some experimentation. You got to figure out what works for you, what doesn't, what might cause a week off, what might cause a month off, and sort of understand where you lie there. Because that pain of not training for a month and then coming back should be painful enough for you to go, fuck, I shouldn't have taken that day off when I didn't need to. Because you were just probably being lazy. And then advanced, you should have a really sound understanding that you should 9 times out of 10 come regardless of how you feel. Like maybe 2 weeks ago, for about 2 weeks in a row, I did not want to go to training. I was like, fuck this. It's literally pulling teeth. Like it was the last thing I wanted to do. But I got in, went through the motions, pushed out okay numbers, but not the best. And then this week I feel great. Pushed out some PBs, really happy with my progress. And so it comes full circle, but because I stuck to it, regardless of sort of how I felt, but I also had a day off on the Tuesday. So it's a very, very delicate learning sort of stage that you're always kind of going through and readjusting. But just understand that if you're a beginner, 100% always train regardless how you feel. Intermediate, figure it out. Advanced, take a day off if you need, because it's probably going to be more beneficial for you than training through. Hope this video helps. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me at Riz Fitness on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks so much, guys. Love you lots, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Cheers.
If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time.